Good evening, everyone, and thanks for coming. There's a lot of people. This is really good. Okay, right off the bat, I just want you to know I love you guys. Okay, we may be way on the other side of the world, but listen, I really appreciate you. And somebody said to me, "Do you ever get nervous? Do you get nervous when you get up there?" And no, I don't, because I don't take it personal when I make a mistake. You know. Tonight I even noticed that, people are really like apologetic. Don't be so apologetic, okay? Demand. You're not going to get what you deserve unless you demand it. And I demand it every moment, okay? Because guess what? Just know this. The whole thing is a lie. You have to understand something, okay? All right? By the time you're 5 years old, you're just starting to find your authentic self. You really have, You found your authentic self. You know who you are. Think about it. And you know what? You can remember glimpses when you were 5 years old. What was life like? It was a cartwheel. It was automatic smiling all the time, connected to your breath, feeling your spirit just reign. Why do you think they send us to school at 5? Why do you think you go to school for 12 years? Because the Rockefellers did a study that if you sent anyone to school for 5 years and you told them what to think, and every time that they had a thought of their own and you shut it down, it takes 12 years to create a robot. Now, whether you want to believe this or not, you all came in here and you all have different beliefs. Yes or no? All different beliefs. And it's your beliefs that give you your personality. And understand something, if you don't like your reality, it's because your personality is sucking the living crap out of you. And that's because of the beliefs you have. And I know that you love mommy and daddy, and you went to a church, you went to a school, you hung around with people, and understand something. Be ready to let that shit go. Be ready to let the stories go. Understand something, that history was based on his story, not our story. Understand something, everything you learned at school did not help you for life. It didn't. It didn't. I would never send my kids to school again. I don't care. There would be no way I would send them to school. There is not one person that is living their authentic life that went to school. And that's it. You got to get that. Well, we can't go to school. You're not be very smart. I think we're pretty stupid. Don't you? We've been stupefied. And that's it right there. And I'm going to tell you something. The human spirit is amazing. But the reality is this. Real science? We used to have 12 strands of DNA. We only have 2 strands. Do you wonder where they went? You can't run a 12 valve. Isn't that what it is? Am I saying it wrong? 12 valve. That's what a Jaguar is. 12 valves, isn't it? Isn't it valves? Cylinders. Okay, it's got 12 cylinders. If I ran it on 2 cylinders, how would it run? So understand something. We lost that DNA. We lost 10 strands of DNA. And you can believe it or don't believe it. I didn't make it up. That's real science. Thank you very much. And the reality is I don't need those 12 strands if I learn how to honor, love, and respect myself. I will never, ever, ever disrespect anybody, but I will disrespect the majority every day. Did you hear what I just said? That didn't make any sense. Yes, it did. Because if you're going to respect yourself, you're going to disrespect the majority. Because the majority will not like that you are not getting in line. And understand something, the majority will always be going to the butcher. They'll always be going. And understand something, you don't even know it, but there's a lot of people in here, and I can tell, and I love you, but you are part of the majority. I can't gain weight. I can't lose weight. I'm depressed. I've got aches and pains. I never have any energy. This is all because, guess what? Your personality is not yours. That's right. Yeah, but that's who I am. No, it's not. It's not who you are. That's not who you are. Yes, it is. No, it's not. It's not. Stop being insane. Your personality is not you. Let me tell you something. Grab this belief, grab this belief, grab that belief, throw them together, and you got a personality. And with that personality, now you've got a disease. And understand something. We already know what? There is no genetic diseases. That's real science. There's not one genetic disease on this planet. Everything's epigenetic, and you better get it. And if you're a doctor or you're a researcher or scientist, you get your ass up here. And then you challenge me right now. You get your ass up here. You wouldn't dare. But I'll tell you why you won't dare, because guess what? Let me tell you something. Every researcher that is getting a grant from the government will never tell you that climate change is not true, because they need their money. And understand something right now. A human being, almost every human being has a price. I haven't got a price. When there is no price, okay, and when you find your passion and you find your purpose, you won't be running around looking for money, because it'll fall into your lap. Go ahead, get yourself a job, okay, and guess what's going to happen? Go ahead and have poverty consciousness. Do you know how many people have poverty consciousness in this room? How about 9 out of 10? Okay? Money's evil, money's dirty. No, it's not. But the reality is, I get it. We don't even need money. You need to get that. You need to understand something. Money is not a curse, because you're not going to change it. So learn to have a great relationship with it. Do you know the difference between somebody who has money and somebody who doesn't? The one who has money believes that it's easy to make. The one who has money is living their passion and purpose. Yeah, I know there's people out there making money off the backs of other people, but the reality is, I'm not talking about that. Okay, let me tell you something. I want to tell you a story. When I ran the Wolf Clinic, okay, which I closed down about, guess that'd be 20 years ago now. Because I never wanted to be in health anymore. I was done with it. Because I had these cancer protocols I put together on cesium chloride and DMSO liquid, and I put them up on Cancer Tutor, and I was getting like about 12 or 20 stage 3 or 4 inflammation patients a day. Nobody can live like that. I had to walk away. And then guess what? When people thought I was Jesus Christ, you know, and that's something I don't ever want to have. Okay, I'd like to be more like Jesus Christ, because understand, Jesus Christ was trying to teach us unconditional love, and guess what? And then we made a religion out of him. Oh, that's so cool. Isn't that great? I'm so glad we did. And now, you know, I was raised a Christian, and all I did was judge everybody. You know, I was sitting in my father's church, and he said one day, he goes, guess what, everyone? I've got to warn you, okay? There's something evil coming over from the east. And he said, yes. The East Indians are trying to bring in their religion, and they're using yoga to get it here. And I'm just going, oh, I hate yoga. I was only 7 years old. But the reality is, you know, we got all these kind of illusions in our head. What do you hate? What do you hate? Everybody hates something here. You hate the government. What? Who? Your premier. But you can't. You can't. What you got to do is you got to ignore it. Let me tell you something. People don't believe me. They believe that protesting is the way. Well, what if you didn't buy their food? What if you didn't get in the lineups? What if everybody just yawned and smiled and walked away? But you're not going to get that. But that's what I'm always going to do. I will always do that. I don't care. I'm telling you, I'll do that when I'm in Australia. I'll do it when I'm anywhere. I'm not gonna abide by the rules. I'm not going to try to cause trouble. You know, I'm not going to try, because these people love trouble. They love to make somebody into a martyr. They don't get to do that with me. The reality is I believe in unconditional love for your premier too. But the thing is, it's very hard to love him compared to love you. So I'm not going to focus on him. I'm going to focus on making love to you. Do you understand? That's called higher thinking. You need to get that. Don't talk about him. Don't vote for him. Don't get into conversation about him. Talk about only what you want. Focus on only what you want, and you're going to have it. And understand, everybody here, the ones that have the sickness, the ones that don't have what they want, they're too busy talking about everybody else. And guess what? You need to get this. There are no diseases. You hear that all the time. There are no diseases. They're just messages from your body saying, why don't you just shut your mouth? Why don't you just focus on loving and caring for every cell that you're made out of, all the bacteria that you're made out of? Why don't you just focus on that? Well, you can't. Do you know why? We're going to go back to what I said already. Your personality is not yours. Everybody here, most of you, you jockey to see who suffers the most in the family, for the family. When the family's in chaos, When my family's in chaos, I won't suffer for them. When my children, which are adults, and they're in chaos, and I've got one in chaos right now, I won't suffer for her. I told her today. I said to her, I owe you nothing, and you owe me nothing. You owe yourself to love yourself and care for yourself, and I will be here for you. But you tell me to go F myself one more time. That's not going to work well. I owe you nothing. And you owe me nothing, but you owe to unconditionally love yourself, and you better get that. I'm going to just say this right now. I'm not a doomsdayer. I'm an optimist. My whole life, I spend it with joy no matter what's going on in the world. This is the 6th extinction. Did you know that every extinction wasn't an extinction? It was just a large part of the population killing themselves. That's all. Okay? 30 to 40% of you are going to kill yourselves. The psychos, they don't have to do anything anymore. Please don't get mad at me, but look at the shit you eat. Go home and look in your cupboards today. Look in your fridge. Look how every time that you get stressed out, you're a sugar gluten junkie. You're an alcoholic. You're a drug addict, whether it's prescription or street. The reality is this, it's not fair, I get it. But you do have to understand something. This is a slave planet. But because there is a creator, there is a source, it's not totally against us. And understand something. They tell us that, you know what, we're the most intelligent that we've ever been. Well, that's what you say to somebody when you don't want them to think anymore. You need to get that. We're not intelligent. Okay? We are vibrational beings, and if you're not minding your vibration, then you're going nowhere. And do we have more information in our head right now than ever before? Yeah, and most of it's useless. Okay, follow the science, there is no science. The only science is unconditional love. The only healthcare is self-care. Most of you right now, if you were to do what you needed to do to heal yourself and have the life that you deserve and to be happy and healthy, your friends and your family would call you a selfish prick. Because nobody's allowed to have that much joy while other people are suffering. I am never going to suffer because you're suffering. But if you come to me and you say, can you help me? I'm there. I'm going to say, here's a strategy, here's a plan of action. Let's take massive personal action and just get over it. Whether you believe it or not, most of you are sick because you're guilty. And if you're not guilty, you're angry. That's it. So, you know, a stat just came out that 92% of the population is depressed. There is no depression. There's only anxiety. When you have anxiety for too long, remember something, your brain overheats and it's only a computer. How many people know that your brain is only as smart as your beliefs and as dumb as your beliefs? How many people know that if you're sick, you've got sick beliefs? How many people know if you're healthy, you've got healthy beliefs? How many people know that you could eat all the organic food you wanted, but you'd still die of a disease? Because you're not at ease with yourself, because it's not yourself that you are. You are made up beliefs of the 5 people that were prominently, dominantly around you from age 0 until you were 7. That's it. End of story. So your personality is not God-given. Your personality was made up of the 5 people that were prominently, dominantly around you from 0 to 7. That's it. There's no science behind it. So you can believe this or not, but we were engineered that way. Why were we engineered that way? Can you help me? Because your parents were adulterated. You already know that everybody, how many people here have had children? Yeah, and when you were pregnant, or when your wife was pregnant, or your spouse was pregnant, you were shitting your pants, and so was she, right? And the reality is when you got out of school, you didn't know how to feed yourself, and you definitely didn't know how to feed another human being. Okay, you didn't know how to love yourself, so you didn't know how to love another human being. Less have a spirit being come into your womb, where for the man or the woman, and then know that, guess what? The spirit being understands vibration, and that's why most of them have umbilical cords wrapped around their neck because they're trying to hang themselves. Okay, or they've got a foot on either side of the vagina, a canal going, I'm not coming out, Jesus Christ. You don't even want to be out there unless me go out. And if you think I'm kidding, everything is vibrational. And understand something, the disabilities and the physical and the mental disorders that we see coming out with children today is because of the couple, because they're mentally disabled. And that's it. So you got to get that. But we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that at all. Okay, it's just random. Nothing is random. Nothing's random. You know, we can start right now and we can just really just let ourselves off the hook for everything. Do you know how many women here, and some men, but mainly women, are guilty? They feel guilty about what's going on with their children today. Even if their children is 30 or 40 years old, they have this guilt because I could have been better. You couldn't have been better. You loved with all your heart and they gave you a hammer and said, tighten that screw. And that's what they did. They screwed you over. They screwed everybody over. And you better get that. Yeah, I don't even know how you're even alive. Okay? And then the reality is this. Guess what? So, oh yeah, we're the most intelligent species in the world and we can't get the chlorine and fluoride out of the water. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, help us all. You know, the reality is it's such horse crap. You know, Lori and I walked for an hour and a half yesterday in Melbourne trying to find a salad bar. There wasn't a salad bar. There was a lot of noodle bars and a lot of sushi bars, but there wasn't anything good to eat. Well, I'm not kidding you. If it wasn't for the juice that Andrea brought us and the soup that she made, because I'm not going to eat that crap. I won't do it. And let me tell you something. You compromise yourself every day for your family and your friends and for everybody else. Look at the stuff you'll eat just to have love from someone. Guess what? I don't need your love. I want to feel your light. I want to see that light coming off of you. Because that's what it is. That's your spirit. I don't need anybody to love me. God, I fill up my heart every day. I don't make Lori responsible for loving me at all. Why would I do that? Okay? Why would I do that? Look at the relationships that you have. Don't tell me you don't. I'll fill your heart if you fill mine. And look at the contaminated love that you'll take from someone because you can't live without love, but you didn't know that was a self-serve job. It's up to you to love you and care for yourself. Do you know how many victims are in this room? And I'm not picking on you, but you're a victim. Oh, I got this, I got that. No, you don't have anything. There's no diseases. You got self-hate. You got self-loathing. You got, I'm not good enough. I can't heal. You know what? If we could take you back and do a time travel back 125 years, nobody had cancer. Nobody had any autoimmune diseases. None. So all you have to do is say, I'm going to go back there, which means you can't live in the city. You can't be on blue light poisoning like this. And when I wear these glasses all the time except when I'm lecturing. These Tesla glasses. And then I wear protection. Okay? And also, I am the energy medicine device that heals me. Give me a chaos. Give me something, a phone call. Somebody in my family, something traumatic happened. Most of you be down on your knees, begging God, please, crumbling and crying. And I'd be going, what do I need to do? You say that we're eternal. You say that you're a spirit being, and then you act like you're not. There is nothing that can go on this planet that will rock my world. Look at what it takes for you to crumble. Look at how you keep having the same arguments with yourself, the same arguments with your family, your friends. That's what's killing us. Let me tell you something. You can believe this or not believe this. And guess what? Don't hate me for it. And if you do, it's okay. I don't care. I really don't care. Because I'm going home with Lori. You listen to me. Let's get rid of all religion. Let me tell you something. It's just a story. That we all got created by the same source. But if you have a religion, you can keep it. But you better be making sure that it never put a hook in your back or a hook in your heart or a hook in your brain. And it didn't make you into a sinner, but a winner. Because sin means missing the mark. That's all it means. There was no such thing as sin. Okay? Why do you think they want to kill all the Indigenous? Because there is no sin. There is no sin with them. There's only sin with us. You couldn't make me into a sinner if you tried. You're going to, you know how many people tell me I'm going to hell here? On here? You're going to hell now, buddy. Okay. Oh. Every time that you hate someone, every time you're angry at someone, just know you are making yourself sick. I don't allow myself to be angry for more than 3 seconds. Well, he doesn't show that he cares. Well, I don't care to believe in what you believe in. Because guess what? We could have the same thing happen to everybody in this room. And everybody in this room would send themselves to judgment jail for a different length of time. Who's right? Who's right? And then how many religions do we have in this room? Probably 20, 30 maybe. And they're all, and guess what? Each of those religions, they're going to heaven and the rest of you are going to hell. Do you know how low vibrational you truly are? Do you actually think that that which created the whole universe is even getting wrapped up into this dysfunctional human shit? Seriously? You call God a he. And if God had a he or a she, it'd be a she because they care and they create. Man manipulates. Not even a guy. God, he. You know, I bet you didn't come for this lecture. It depends on the mood I'm in. I pick up on the energy of the people and then I give you what I think you don't want. You need to understand something. I am not going to buy into the stuff that is causing you to be sick. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, because it's bullshit. It's just bullshit. I'm not going to buy into that stuff. And I'm going to tell you something right now. How long have you been in that wheelchair?
2 years.
What? 2 years. How did you get into that wheelchair?
I fell over and broke my leg in 3 places.
Guess what? I'm going to tell you something right now. And you're going to say, why don't you leave her alone? We could get her out of that wheelchair in 6 to 9 months. And she never has to be in it again. Do you know why she's in that wheelchair? Because her family knows nothing about health. Because the people she goes to know nothing about health. Because guess what? She gets treated like a victim. And if we were to take a look at your emotional background, and please, I'm not picking on her. She's not on here. I don't want to pick on her. But if we looked at her emotional background, she was an emotional victim before she was a physical victim. Because anybody can break their leg in 3 places. Do you understand? I gave up. I gave up. Is that her fault that she gave up? No. But where were all the courageous people saying, don't give up? Where were the people that said, listen, we need to change your reality by changing parts of your personality. And we understand that you got beat up emotionally and physically and maybe even sexually when you're young and you gave up. So we go from a limp to a cane to a walker to a wheelchair. Let me tell you something. I'm scared I'm going to get run over with it by a wheelchair. I live with that nightmare because, listen, I just did a 1-a-day, not this last flight, but 2 flights ago. I don't even know where we're going. And I go, hey, crap, there's a wheelchair race in the airport. You know, the reality is guess what? They want you crippled emotionally and physically. I'm telling you the God's truth. You cannot sit in a wheelchair without getting constipated. Okay? Without rotting. You can't. You can't. Can you still walk? That's right. So if you can stand, you can walk. Do you understand? No, you'd have to understand. And to understand means she'd have to love herself, care for herself, and she'd have to reach in and get that BraveHeart and say, I'm getting the hell out of this chair. But you really have to want it. And that's the deal. You know what? We're not allowed, you know, in my business, we're not allowed to give courage because if we give courage, we're after their money. The longer you're in the chair, just know this. You have a cane for 9 months, it's an appendage. You have a walker for 9 months, it becomes your appendage. You have how long you been in it?
2 years.
Yeah, that's right. So now, the hardest part will be trying to break her relationship with the chair. Because believe it or not, that chair is her best friend.
No, it's not.
Oh, yes, it is. Because guess what? It's a hate-love relationship. If that chair wasn't your best friend, you wouldn't be in the chair. And we get in the chair. Do you know why we get in the chair? Because we gave up emotionally first. I'm going to tell you something right now. 99% of all the people that are in wheelchairs, that have canes, that have walkers, do not have to have them. And they do have to have them in here, what they're thinking, but they're not thinking right. And why aren't they thinking right? Because it was a setup. You know what? Let me tell you something. It doesn't matter. So when you broke your leg healed. They didn't know about ionic calcium. They didn't know about scar tissue. So now she's lost muscle tone and she's got scar tissue. She'd have to work her butt off to get out of that chair. The longer you stay in it, the more you're going to stay in it. I'm not picking on you. I'm telling you the truth. I'll tell you something right now. And I mean this in the best way. If I had a clinic here, I'd prove it to you. I'd prove it to you.
I've got motor neuron as well.
What?
Motor neuron disease.
Myelin neuron.
Motor neuron, which is called ALS.
Yeah, I know. And guess what that is? That's where the myelin sheath, okay, was eaten away by the acidity that was caused from the putrefaction of your large intestine because you don't move. You're rotting out in your core, okay? The waste is being, the waste is, you've got autoimmune disease. Yeah, and autoimmune disease, do you know what that is? When's the last time you had antibiotics?
Forcefully about 3 years ago, but I didn't want that.
Doesn't matter. You cannot do antibiotics and not be on a really great diet, have a really great attitude, and you can't be sitting in a chair. Because when you do one round of antibiotics, does anybody know what happens? Antibiotics, okay, are a form of chemo. They vibrate below zero. Do you understand? Does everybody understand that everything has a frequency, everything has a vibration? Do you understand that? Everything has a frequency, everything. Like right now, some people are going, oh my God, I really like his lecture. And other people are going, I just want to leave. So the reality is this, those that my lecture is matching up to their belief systems, they say, I'll stay. And the other ones go, you know what? He's not who I thought he was. He picked on her. I'm not picking on her. I'm trying to tell you that when you do antibiotics, just one round of them. First of all, does anybody know that you should never do antibiotics unless you're in a life-threatening situation? And no, but that means an acute life-threatening situation, not a chronic situation, which most of the people in here have a chronic illness, not a life-threatening acute one. There's a difference. You have chronic problems. You don't have acute problems. And understand something. You have a chronic infection, and they're trying to use antibiotics to fight the chronic infection. It doesn't do anything. So only one out of maybe 1,000 or 10,000. I don't have a number. What? One out of 1,000 or maybe 10,000 people should be taking antibiotics. The rest shouldn't have taken them. And the reality is when you take an antibiotic, it vibrates below zero. So everybody know that you've got yeast in your large intestine and you need that? Do you know that when you do an antibiotic, you turn the yeast into fungus? Do you know that the fungus becomes a drill bit predator and it drills holes through your large intestine? And that's what you call autoimmune disease. That's what you call leaky gut. There's no such thing as leaky gut. It's leaky large intestine. So now you're pooping in your pelvis. Your pelvis is the pelvic bowl. And then you rot out. Take a look at women. Take a look at men. So we know that prostate cancer has gone up 40% in the last 5 years. They say it'll go up in the next 5 years 400%. Well, that's true. Take a look at men. Look like they're pregnant, don't they? Tell me they don't. They're anywhere from 3 months to 15 months, okay? All right? Okay? And the women aren't doing any better either. You know, hey, are you pregnant? Hey, watch your mouth. Okay, so anyways, and the reality is because, guess what? Let me tell you something. I go to the mall, I'm scared I'm going to get eaten. Okay? Just saying. Okay, so the reality is this. Big, bold, and beautiful. No, it's not. Big, bold, and sick. So understand that. So the corporations want you to be comfortable about being overweight. But you're not overweight, are you? You're overinfected. Because understand something. Every pound that you have is water retention and fecal rot. Isn't it great? Hey, let me tell you something. My armpits don't smell. Okay? I don't have bad breath. How many people know that halitosis means that you're full of worms? How many people know that everyone who has a disease is full of worms? Disease, not at ease, vibration low. Okay? When's the last time you saw a manure pile that didn't have fungus, bad bacteria, and worms in it? And guess what? That's what right now? You want to know what that is? That's 98% of the population. 98% of the population is dying a slow rotting death. You should never need underarm deodorant. You should never need, and then when you do use it, it's poisoning you, right? Okay? All right? You should never have bad breath. I'm telling you the truth. So understand something. There's no turning this sucker around. Why do you think I'm doing this tour? Why do you think I do free lectures? Because most people wouldn't come to my lectures unless they were free. Because most people don't have a value. They don't. Hey, well, it was entertaining. Yeah. He made a couple of good jokes. Whose phone's that? I'm coming out to get you. So anyways, did I scare you? It's probably my phone. No, you think I'm kidding? I got 5 of them. Yeah, I know. Anyways, what if the biggest drama could happen in your life and you didn't react? Well, first of all, they'd think you were a moron, but you'd be better off. You know, the thing is that everybody, if something trauma happens in the family, you all decide on how you have to act, right? It's true. And if you don't act like that, people think there's something wrong with you. But understand something, every family's toxic. Oh, I love my family. I know you do. But I hate them. Right? Come on now. And guess what? You will never ever be able to unconditionally love your family until you can unconditionally love yourself. And don't expect your family to ever unconditionally love you, because it's never going to happen. And whether you want to believe this or not, okay? When they say that we are the most intelligent species in the universe, you've heard that, right? Everybody's heard that bullshit story. The most intelligent species in the universe does not eat or take a crap. Let me tell you. You do get that, right? And the most intelligent species is not a physical entity. It's just an energy entity. You do get that, right? Okay, so understand something, whether you want to believe this or not. The Rothschilds signed a pact, okay, with an entity. You're not going to want to hear this. Probably about 150,000 years ago. And yeah, wake up. Let me just say something. Did anybody know that the Chinese tried to build a pyramid and they couldn't? Why? Because they couldn't lift the boulders. Because it was all done by energy. That's right. There was another species here, way before us. And guess what? And you don't even know this. I'm going to just blow your mind, and then you can think I'm crazy. Okay? All right? The Africans were the first humans on this planet. And the reason why is because they were created. And they were created to be slaves to mine the gold for this entity. And you can believe that or not believe it, don't really care. But you go ahead and believe your story, okay? About the apple and something else, I'm not really sure. The reality is how's that one working for you? That you feel like a sinner. How about if we just thought that we were a slave and that we need to free ourselves from enslavement? Wouldn't that be a better story? Wouldn't that be a hero story? Or do you think that we should all just feel like we're condemned for the rest of our life and we don't know how to behave good enough to stay out of hell? Well, that story's pretty screwy. I'm just trying to tell you that, really? Did you ever look at your stories? Take a look at them. And you're going, well, I thought this was a health lecture. Well, this is a health lecture. Emotional health lecture. This is a high vibrational health lecture. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if I should have been just like most people and just have my head in the sand, you know? And just believe that I can't change my life. I can't heal myself. That I don't deserve the life that I was promised. Maybe I should just be like that. Maybe just struggle like everybody else. What do you think? What do you think? You know what? It doesn't matter how much I have or I don't have. I have everything. I'll be happy when what? When what? When will you be happy when what? When will you be happy when what? I'll be happy right now, thank you very much. And let them come and take everything that I own, but they can't take this. And guess what? When you live like that, they don't want you. Do you know what they want? They want the low-hanging fruit. They want the scared. The people that have so much anxiety, they become depressed. And there is no such thing as depression. You just heated up your brain so much, your brain had to shut down, and you go, I'm depressed. Well, I don't know. And you do know they did a major study, right, on all the depression meds? This is true. There was only one side effect. Does everybody know what it is? Suicide. Yeah. And guess what? So now the rule is when you prescribe antidepressive meds, the doctor has to call you up a week later and say, hey, are you thinking of killing yourself? What do they think they're going to say? Yeah? No, because then you get a straitjacket. See? Nobody cares. No system out there cares for you. And you know what? There's a whole bunch of people in here that use the medical system as their health care. Well, that's your fault. That's your fault. And understand something. So you want to use something that uses mustard gas, okay? You want to use something that their products are made out of petroleum, okay? You want to use something. Why don't you just stay home if you want to radiate yourself? Just throw your boob in the microwave. You know? Why even make the trip? I mean, we really do have to, think about this for a second, right? And this is why we are not the most intelligent species in the universe, but we could be the most intelligent species on the planet. What if we actually did really, truly love each other? What if we actually loved ourselves? What if we opted that we're not going to take secondhand love, we're not going to take secondhand food? What if we did that? That's really the bottom line. Let's see if you can leave this place for 24 hours, not say one negative thing. Not think one negative thing. And you're going to go, well, Daryl, you've been negative all night. No, I'm not. I have no problem with reality. I have no problem that we have been slaves since the beginning of time on this planet. I have no problem with that. I have no problem that guess what? People are going to stay slaves for the rest of their life. I have no problem with that. I don't have a problem with it. Because guess what? This is planet Earth, a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure. And if you don't get the rules, you don't get the rules? Oh, you're going to tell me that every time you put that in your mouth, every time that something comes out of your mouth, you really don't know the difference between high vibrational and low vibrational? Just know this, that the majority of the population is leaving. And they're going to leave really slow. Because the game is set up so beautifully that you don't have acute critical care. You have chronic care. Yes or no? Yeah, chronic care. And you go to the medical system for chronic care, they're into emergency care. So then you're 911 emergency. What are you going to them for? If you were to learn how to do the perfect day, guess what? I've never done this before in my life. But I want you to take the time to look at it. I hope you know, we just finished. And when I say this, I mean it. We just finished putting about, $20,000 into the Perfect Day Manual. We just redid it again. And if you gave your email, I'm going to send that to you for free. I've never done that in my life before, but guess what? I can't hold back this stuff. So let's say there's there's a lot of people here. Let's say there's 75 people. Guess what? 5 people are going to read it from back to front. And the rest of you are going to go, well, that was interesting. Because you've been programmed to knock yourself off, to work like a slave all your life, and then get sick, and then slowly have the money sucked out of you. How many people here are married? How many people are here with their husbands? 2. That's great. Just get this. Maybe, no, 3. Sorry about that. Sorry I left you out. Okay? All right? Okay? So 3. So the reality is this is it. Okay? How do you go home? How do you go home when you want to change your life, when you want better? And guess what? The person you married isn't on your path. And you know what that is, guys? It's not 9 out of 10. You're ready for this? You don't want to hear it. That's 90 out of 100. Well, that's the same thing. Gotcha. Okay, so we're talking about 90 couples out of 100 that will never meet eye to eye on having a higher vibrational life. Now, does how many people here know that it's 95% men that stop it? Yeah, 95% men. So now we know who's destroying the world. Right? And you know what? All because of that one story. Women were created by a man's rib. So they get to make all the decisions. Well, I have to talk to my husband first. I've never heard of the husband going, I have to talk to my wife first to have a better life. Everything is programming. So I don't care. Get angry at me, throw tomatoes at me, but not real, because I don't want to ruin my nice shirt. But the reality is that I'm telling the truth, and you don't even know you were programmed. So you were programmed for the Rockefellers, the Queen of England, Rothschilds, and you know, there's only about 250 of them, and they interbreed, just so you know, because they would never want your disgusting, you know, genetics. You know, the reality is this: if you don't really understand the world you live in, then I can't help you. And the reality is that government has never done anything for you, okay? Well, they did if you're a victim. You got to have a check, but, okay? And the reality is there's no really such thing. There is no such thing as debt. And everybody's going, if we could just pay down the debt. I mean, do you guys still believe that shit? Are you still believing that? So the reality is I'm going to say whatever I say, not because I want trouble with the government or the medical system or anything, but they all know that this is true. And the people that actually work in there know it's true. But the reality is they're low vibrational beings. Did you hear what I just said? And that's okay. They can stay that way. They can stay that way. The reality is guess what? The universe is one large Sony PlayStation game. And guess what? I want to move on to the next level. Is that okay with you? And the reality is this: I'm not going to be a low vibrational being. And guess what? I have never had an organ cut out of me, except I didn't have a choice. That was my tonsils. Okay? And understand this. You know, there are a lot of schools in Europe that if you get the tonsils cut out, they won't let you come to the school because your mentality is a lot lower. Well, it's true. It's true. Okay? You know, at least that's what people say. They say I'm a dumbass. So the reality is that, you know, I love my parents, but my parents were brainwashed. I'm not brainwashed. I do my own brainwashing. You do understand that if you don't do your own brainwashing, somebody else is going to do it. Okay? I'm going to take 10 minutes and I'm going to show you something. And then we're going to go and I'm going to have some people come up and we'll do some non-surgical, but I'd like to have Michelle come up. I'd like to have Andrea come up because they're the ones that put this on for everyone. Okay? And I really appreciate the work that they've done. And every lecture that I do is different. I'm going to do another one tomorrow. It'll be live and it'll be different than this one. Every lecture is different. I'm telling you, it is. I go by the energy I pick off of people, and it also, maybe it's just my next rant on the list. I don't really know. But the reality is this: I've never been freer in my life. Would you like to feel free? Yeah. Would you like to feel free and not feel obligated by your family, by the world, or by anything or any system or any group of people? I'm totally free of that. I don't fear. Do you think I fear? Okay. Do you think I have any guilt about my past? Oh, I enjoyed every bit of it. You need to understand that. And most of you never lived the life that I lived. Trust me. Okay? And I mean that. I have no guilt. Let me tell you something. My parents did the best they could, but they were very toxic. Okay? All right? And I love them. They loved me more than it was even possible with the dysfunction that they had. Do you understand? And you know, you don't need to go back. I need to go back and find out who hurt me. Really? Are you like, is that what we're going to do here? You only have the moment. And a moment is only 1/10,000th of a second. Why are you ruining it? All you had to do is walk around with a slight smile. 3, 2, 1, I got this. 3, 2, 1, there's a new sheriff. You know, keep on. This is a kiss. This is a hug. Snap yourself back continually. Listen, when I came up with this, I took my daughter's hairband and I snapped that thing and made a promise I would snap that thing 30 times an hour. So who's the insane guy? I'd be in line and I'd be just going like this. Now I don't have to snap it. If it goes in front of my eyes, it just says, unconditional love. You got this, Daryl. You got this. You stay connected to your breath. You put a slight smile on your face. You do the mirror work in my 12 loving steps. You do the love band work and do nothing else. And be totally insane about it for 33 days. And guess what? Okay? He'll either be coming along or she'll be coming along with you or you'll be divorced. You think I'm kidding? How many of you are still hanging in there? Hanging in there. Hanging in there. Hanging in there. So how's things? You know. We have our ups and downs. You know what? I'm not putting up with anything that I don't want. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Be grateful. Okay, I'm grateful for everything I have, but baby, I want lots more. And understand something. I'm not taking yours. Just remember that. I'm not taking yours because not one drop of water has left this planet. And if you did a little bit of research, you'd know that we could have 100 billion people live on this planet and not bump into each other. You'd also know that there's enough food for 100 billion people and 100 billion more. You also know there's no climate problem. There's nothing. But you go ahead and buy into it. I don't even listen to that stuff. It's just like, it's so ridiculous. And I don't even discuss it. I don't discuss it. Outside of this lecture, it'll never be discussed. I'm not going to discuss something that's made up. And I do understand that the psychos are going to be in control of this planet as far as the money goes. And they're the ones that created the government because they're the internal government in the government that's running the government. And guess what? The whole medical system is based on petroleum and mustard gas. So the reality is I don't take time to even talk about it. Opt in and do whatever you want to do. Believe that you have to have the cane, have the walker, the wheelchair, or wear the Depends. Just because everybody's crapping their drawers, it's okay that you crap your drawers. Am I right or wrong? Come on. Do you have a Costco in Australia? Yes. Well, why don't you go there? There's a whole row now. Every size. You can be 300 pounds and you can pull up that sucking diaper. And you can just shit in it all day. And guess what? I feel sorry for you, but do you think you can move over a little bit? I don't feel sorry for anyone. I will help anyone. I will support everyone. We don't need you feeling sorry for anyone. And please, don't say sorry anymore. I'm so sorry. I think I almost touched you. Really? Are you tired of that? Just stop it. Let's just see if you can go 1 hour without saying sorry. And guess what? When we stop here and take a little break, I'm going to bump into everybody. So I'm going to try to make this into a nutshell. And that's this. Everything is energy. Everything is light and everything is frequency. I am a light energy frequency being. Okay? And I will vibrate so high. Okay? I will become the light for myself and anybody else. Okay? Did you know that you cannot love another human being? It's impossible. Tell me, how do you make love, but you can't love another human being. Do you know what you can do? You can share your frequency and your light. But guess what? Do you know how exhausting that is? Well, you don't believe me? Guess what? Remember the first time you fell in love? Oh, right? Fireworks, overflow. Oh, wow. Okay? And guess what? That lasted for a year. Because then you had to get back to work. But the reality is, if you would have taken that energy and loved yourself, you would have found another partner that loved themselves, and two people that come together that love themselves completely and fill up their own heart. They become the light of the world together, and they go out there and it becomes an adventure. Guess what? What happens after the first year and a half? I give you more than you give me. Tell me I'm wrong, and I'll tell you you're full of it. Every one of you are full of it. And you're still thinking today, do I give him more? Do I give her more than she gives me? When you should be just filling up your own heart, okay? This is called self-serve, because it's called self-care, because it's called self-love. And if you knew better, you'd know that every spirit leader that's ever been here, that's all they were trying to teach. That's all they were trying to teach. And you can believe it or not believe it, but you can believe whatever story you want. But just remember this, the true story is Jesus was murdered for trying to teach unconditional love. And that's why he was murdered. He did not die for my sins. Okay, because I'm going to tell you something right now. Some people aren't going to like this, but I'm telling you for a reason. Because you need to get this. I never sinned. I tried to survive my parents. I tried to survive going to school. I tried to survive. A beautiful little spirit tried to survive. Okay? When my parents broke up, okay, we lived in the worst part of town. Okay? And I'm telling you, I had to beat the mice to the cereal. This isn't a made-up story. And then I'd go play soccer after high school. And then I'd go to Woolco. Remember Woolco? You have something else here. It's called something. Woolworth or something. That's a grocery store. We had Woolco. And then I'd take my bag and I'd go and I'd steal food. I'd steal clothing. And I'd steal things and bring them home. And I wasn't a sinner. I don't give a crap what you say. I was just trying to make it. I was trying to make it. And to the point that, guess what? This one day I went to steal an iron for my mother for Christmas. And then I thought, I'll give this up. And then anyways, I got caught. And anybody been to Halifax, Nova Scotia? Probably no. Anyways, this is like a right on the ocean. And there's these big hills. And I thought I could outrun the guy. And it was wintertime. And you ever see those fake leather coats with the fur? And then the snoot boots that come halfway up? Well, I remember the movies. Well, I gotta remember something. I'm only 15, 16 years old. And I go, okay, guess what? I'll dive in and swim over and hide underneath the dock, and it's wintertime. Yeah, I almost drowned. You know? Let me tell you something. You'll do desperate things, okay, to survive when you're in survival mode. And I don't need anybody's forgiveness. I will never take that back because it made me who I am today. So stop living with guilt because it's going to keep you sick. It's going to keep you sick. And stop laying the guilt on your family. You didn't love me enough. You didn't care for me enough. You should have done this. You should have done that. And guess what? This is what they do. They pin religion against religion, color against color. They pin families against each other because you should have done this, you should have done that, and it's not true. It's all a lie. So anyways, the invisible creates the physical, yes or no? I get an idea, and then I create it, right? Okay, you don't believe me? Come on. The spirit energy comes into the womb and then becomes a fetus. Oh, that's pretty brilliant, eh? Yeah, pretty amazing. And what happens when the egg comes in? I mean, when the sperm cell hits the egg, it's called a zinc spark. There's zinc and it sparks, and the brighter the spark, the healthier the baby's going to be. but that spark won't be healthy if the parents weren't healthy. Did you get that? So the spark's really dull. So that's real science. And the reality is this: your brain is just a computer, and your brain only stores stores information that you repeat. It only stores dominant, prominent thoughts. But what if your dominant thoughts are self-loathing, self-hating? Where are you going to be? You're going to be sick. There is nobody sick that unconditionally loves and knows how to care for themselves and make high vibrational decisions. Did you get that? I can't get well. I do everything. You've done nothing. You went to see medical doctors that aren't in healthcare. They never even took anything about healthcare. They don't want to talk about diet. They don't want to talk about detox. They don't want to talk about your emotions, except maybe you need to get on medication so that we can just have you shut up. And I've done everything. Really, going to all these doctors is doing everything. When are you going to take control? When are you going to put a smile on your face? How many people know that if you actually smile, you bring the pH up? How many people know that if you smile, you bring the oxygen up? How many people know that? So no, you know what you're going to say? Piss off, Daryl. Unless you tell a joke, I'm not smiling. And I got nothing to smile for. You should live my life. And I say, no way, I wouldn't get inside your head if you gave me all the money in the world. You tell a horror story over and over again, you become a horror yourself. And that's the only reason why you don't smile. People that are smiling right now, the ones that aren't smiling, they're pissed off. You can see them. Like there's a shitload of them here. Look at them all. Look at them. Yep, there's a couple. Yeah. Oh yeah, she's smiling now. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, I said it 3 times and you wouldn't smile. And then I said, now you see me coming for you, but you're still pissed off at me. Let me tell you something. You don't know my life, Daryl. Don't tell me to smile. I got to go home to him. Yeah, I bet you do. No, you don't. No, you don't. If you just smiled, connected to your breath, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out, put your shoulders back. Okay, go home tonight and write what you've always wanted to become when you grow up. Okay, write down where you would live, what you would be doing, what your passion is, what your purpose is. What I'm doing right now, I don't want to do anything else. You have no idea. I don't care what you think about me. I love you. And I know this, that if I don't, that's the only sin. I need to love everyone no matter what their beliefs are. That's the only way this is going to end. You ask yourself why Melbourne and Australia was the worst lockdown country in the world, and I will tell you that everybody needs to look at their beliefs. What are we going to do about it? I don't know. What are you going to do about it? Oh, let's have something to eat. First of all, I had a bowl of organic soup, and I had 2 pears, and then I had another half a cup of soup. That's all I've eaten today. Do you understand? Okay. Do you know where I'm getting all this energy from? The love that I feel for you. No, you can override jet lag, and you can override every dis-ease that was ever created. You're created by the source of everything, for God's sakes. At least your spirit was. The physical body's been manipulated. We know that. But they've never stopped. And think about it. You can't go anywhere unless you've been poisoned. And guess what? Nobody can do anything about it. You think about that. So we've got 250,000 against 8 billion. Now, do you think you're the smartest species in the universe? You're only smart if you unconditionally love yourself and you go, where should we live? How should we live? What should we eat? What should we drink? What should we be judging each other? Should we be actually, every time that something happens that is a disruption or chaos in this family, we sit down and go, why did you hit your brother? What is it that makes you so upset about me? What can we do for each other to bring our vibration up, to bring our love up? why don't you girls take over? Come on and talk about what you do and who you are. And I'll just give my tongue a little break.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Hello. Yep.
Yep. My name's Andrea, and I have a clinic in Eaglemont. I do all the Wolf non-surgical and the South-Sonic. I went to Mexico in February and did the first course, and now I'm going up to Coffs Harbour to do the second course. So if you need
Speak closer into the mic.
So if you need any work done, I'm doing the Wolf non-surgical, and I do nutritional and emotional consultations as well. And I do a bit of other aromatherapy, energetic work as well. So yeah, please come and see me. I'll help you get well.
Fantastic. How's that?
I want you to give your phone number as well, because there's a lot of people online
Yep.
as well. And the name
Yep.
of your clinic?
It's my clinic is Whole Life Essentials, and my number is 0420 313 255.
Fantastic. How is everyone going? Yay? Yeah. Amazing, isn't it, to have such incredible knowledge and to actually challenge us, hey? All right, I'm Michelle, and I organised this with a lot of other people and Andrea, which is great. I have a clinic in Belgrave South, just down the road. I'm a lymphologist, which is an international study from the US about study of the lymphatic system. 35 years of health and wellness practice, okay? And people said to me, well, why do you want to learn more? Don't you know everything?
You always keep learning.
Huh?
You never stop learning.
No, that's right. And you know what I said to them? I know nothing on the whole scheme of the world and the universe, right? So someone introduced me to Daryl 6 months ago. I said, oh my goodness, he just is like me, but in male form. And I want to do what he's going to do. Change the world. One step at a time, one person at a time. We can do it. We can build a whole new healthcare system. We just need to come together. Yeah? Yes. Can't hear you. Yes. Right. Okay. So my clinic is lymphaticdrainage.com, energy wellness, and I'm going to do the whole life coach and non-surgical certification in Coffs Harbour in August. Now, don't tell Daryl, but I've been watching him on live, and I've been seeing him do non-surgical and his son, Dr. Sage Wolf, and I've been doing it on a few clients, and they go, boy, does that work? I said, yeah. So it's amazing, guys, and we can all do this, and the best thing is, we can teach each other. And that's why we're here, to share this amazing knowledge and education with you guys. You guys are going to go home, but not tell anyone.
I'm allowed to do it.
No, because you know what? They're going to say, what are you talking about? It doesn't work. What do you mean you just compress tissue and your pain goes away? No, it's amazing, guys. You just have to trust and change our belief system, our program, guys. So I'll pass you on to Andrea because she's got some more to say.
Oh, do I? I've got some more to say. Well, I have done the course, and I have I've started to do a few clients, and the clients are seeing results. It's amazing. You're gently pulling apart the scar tissue. You're not. It's, you know, it can be sometimes a bit painful, but it is. It's very effective. Very effective relieving your pain, and yeah, especially with the South-Sonic as well. Often I do the South-Sonic first, and then it actually helps to stop it. It helps actually break up the calcification a lot. So when you do the Wolf non-surgical, it's actually a little bit easier to break up the crystallization, the calcification. But it really does work. It's really effective. It gives you relief and space. It gives you space in your joints and your body. It's beautiful. I wish I had someone doing it on me a bit more.
Oh,
It'd be good.
me too.
It'd be good. So yes, hopefully, love to see you guys up at Coffs Harbour. We've got quite a few of us going up there, and we would love to see you up there. It's going to be an absolutely amazing time. Absolutely beautiful place to go, and by the beach. So yeah, it'd be lovely to see you all. If you could all come up, might as well. So
What date?
it's the 12th of August. It starts, is that right? 12th
That's
of
correct.
August? Yeah. So there's a few different courses. There's the whole life coach at the start, then the wolf non-surgical, and the pelvic restoration, which I also did in Mexico, which was really good as well. It's beautiful. It's very empowering course. It's well worth doing it. It's like no other course that you'll ever do. It's just you really just tap into your subconscious, and as you know, Daryl says it as it is, and yeah, he doesn't hold back. But that's what we need. We all need to kick up the bum and made to see what. We're just living so unconsciously, but our body has such an ability to heal. We just need to get out of the way and reprogram our minds so that we can heal. And all it is healing is just about loving yourself. If you love yourself, you will heal yourself. Mm-hmm. That's all there is to it. If you're loving it and caring for yourself, your body will heal. It's all about vibration. There's no other way but up. So yeah, and you've just got to be sick and tired enough to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you do something about it. And the unknown is scary, but once you're there, it's not. It's you feel vibrant and alive, and you're not vibrant and alive every day, but you just keep doing a little bit each day, and you just keep working towards being happy and peaceful, because it's just, yeah. We can do it. We can all do it. We just have to have faith in ourselves and get a great facilitator to help you along. So,
Can I just ask you a question? What was your background before you decided to do the
originally, I was a beauty therapist, and then I studied aromatherapy, and I've done Reiki and a few other things. I'm actually now moving into some 9D breath work facilitating, so that's coming soon. I've been doing that for the last 7 weeks in a row, and I've found it absolutely amazing for any trauma, stress or grief you have. I've done a lot of breath work before, and I just found this breath work it's just amazing. It's just so effective, and it's you have to experience it. It's called 9D breath work. A man in Bali, Brian Kelly, has created it. So I'm just learning now, doing a facilitator course in that. So I'm going to be offering that to my clients as well. So it's, yeah.
Fantastic.
I've done lots of different things. You want Mike? I sing a song.
We're doing a great job here. Put the music on. Yay. All right, you sure? Do you want the microphone? We can have it?
Do you want your spot back?
When she was talking, the thing is when she's saying that the breath work was to help you let go of trauma, right? The reality is we can't get confused about trauma. Remember something, the most traumatized people in this room are the people that repeated their stories so often, and they're still repeating it. There's people in this room that actually your subconscious repeats the trauma without you because you've told your traumatic story so often. And the most traumatized people here are the storytellers that keep on telling their story. And when you come to the clinic or you come to a course, you're allowed to tell the story once. That's it. Okay, you know, now they've got these PTSD certified therapists. And understand, there's no such thing as PTSD, it's called shell shock. And when you've been shell shocked and then you have a victim family that victimizes it and lets you tell your story over and over again, and they stroke you and they go, oh, too bad, oh, that's bullshit. It really is. Let me tell you something right now. The breath work is you connecting to source. And you don't need to go back and rehash the story. What you want to do is remember something, everybody. It's called issues in the tissues. And the reality is, if you can't find a way to process a trauma drama, you have to store it. And every trauma drama, okay, depending on the vibration, will be stored in a different place in the human body. And then that becomes a dis-ease. Because you're not at ease. You can't store that stuff. Whether you want to believe it or not, the person that can't gain weight, okay, they're eating themselves from the inside out. Doesn't matter what they do, they're eating themselves. The person that gains so much weight, okay, they're trying to create bumpers because life is so painful, right? So you create bumpers. And the reality is every tumor is hate and anger. That's what every tumor is. It's hate and anger. So you have to understand there are no diseases. It's being out of ease, out of love with yourself. And guess what? The world has no problem with somebody going out and telling their story, their trauma drama all the time. This happened to me 20 years ago, and they've told that story 1,000,000 times. 1,000,000 times. Don't tell me why you're sick. Tell me how you're going to get well. Stop it. The whole medical system, the whole psychiatry system, psychologists, they're all bullshit. There's no other word. And understand something, if it's government approved, it's toxic. Yeah. And you know what, if you're a nurse or you work in any government system that's approved, you know that your work is crap. It's crap. And understand something, you're not crap. Do you understand? But when you've got a chokehold on you, every nurse, thank God that there's nurses in hospitals to put some heart in there. People are not evil. The program's toxic. How do you put yourself into a toxic, evil program and get the work done? You can't fix it. The medical system's not broken. The government's not broken. They were built for this. If we could just fix it. It's like this. Geez, I wish I could make that snake into an eagle. They want you to talk like this. What if we could just fix the medical system? How do you fix a system that's based on chemo, radiation, and petroleum? So I don't care. You can opt for it. You can continually do it. You can pick your poison. You can pick whatever you want. Whatever you want. Remember that, okay? It's your choice. I'm not trying to sell you into anything. The only thing I'm trying to do here tonight is to stir you up. Am I stirring you at all? Okay, I'm trying to stretch it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to do this. It'll take me 10 minutes, and then guess what we're going to do? We're going to work on people, and we're going to prove to you something. That you don't have to be like this. I don't care if you've got a frozen shoulder, you've got a tennis elbow, okay, you've got carpal tunnel syndrome, you've got a neck problem, you couldn't move your neck, okay. I'm going to work on some people up here and prove to you that in 10 minutes. Did you know that all the therapists that have come to me and we have taught, I bet you we've taught close to 10,000, and they all offer a money-back guarantee. Did you know that? On their body work. Does your chiropractor do that? Your massage therapist? We offer a money-back guarantee on the first treatment that it will outdo everything combined. How's that? Go on my website. It's there. It's on every video almost. I say it all the time. This isn't because we're trying to get more money out of you. Because guess what? If I was wrong, I'd be broke. And understand, I back every one of my therapists that I teach. And understand something. When they go to a whole life coach certification, they come to that certification for 9 days, but they leave there better than any dietitian, nutritionalist out there. You need to understand something. It was made to look complicated. It's not complicated, it's simple. And you are a genius. Every one of you have genius in here. Every one of you should take a whole life coach course. Not that you will, because guess what? I haven't got the money and haven't got the time. Don't you love saying that all the time? I don't have the money, I don't have the time. You're actually just saying that you're not worth it, that's all. Because I give a money back guarantee on all my courses that the first day, if you're not completely blown away, we'll give you your money back, no questions. So, people can't say to me, you're a fraud. You'll never find anybody who's so willing to give your money back. Because I'll tell you something, when you've got something powerful, you better stand behind it. And if you think the stuff is so good out there, ask your practitioner to give you a money back guarantee. Well, why do you keep on going to the same people that don't give you a money back guarantee? And it's not working for anybody else. Why do you keep going? I know, because we're the smartest species in the universe. I use sarcasm to teach really quickly. Let's just get there. Let's get there. Let's get there right now. So here's the deal. This here's just a vessel. My thoughts, what I eat, what I drink, the way I act is what this becomes. Both of my parents passed on. They didn't die. They passed on from cancer, stage 4 inflammation, before they were 55. Okay? All right? I'll be 67 next week. And there's not nobody, and I've got people working for me from the age of 22 all the way up to maybe around 60 something. And there is nobody that can keep up with me. Do you know why? Well, first of all, my family is just generations of sickness, heart disease and cancer. Trust me. I'm not going anywhere. I might get a little sniffle, but I know how to look after it. I will never have a disease. You will never hear of me having a disease. And right now, some people are going, he'll get his. This is the way that you are. You actually believe that. He'll get his. A few times tonight, things I said, I guarantee you, he'll get his. God, if I could just knock on wood. I don't need to knock on wood. I don't need to knock on wood. So here's the deal. Go home, get your clothes off, take a look at the shape of your body. You created that through your thoughts. Every disease you have, you created it through your thoughts. Guess what? When you go home tonight, before you go in the house, take a look at it. You created that. That car, you created that car. How many times did you opt out and lower your dreams, lower your vibration for other people around you? You couldn't make me do that, ever. Never. I am going for everything that I want. And understand, it's not materialistic for me. Yes, do I have more shirts than anybody else? Probably. And are they really nice? Yeah. But I get off on it. I like myself looking good and vibrant. Is that okay with anyone? Oh no, I should dress down. I should try to fit in. So here we go. So the reality is every time that you create crisis in your life, you get a headache. You get a tummy ache. You get some negative symptom. So every time that you have a negative thought and you keep playing the same story again, you're going to have them. And understand, that's just a message from your body. Why can't you love us? Why can't you talk high vibrational? Why can't you care for yourself? Why do you have to buy in to the world and all its bullshit? Why do you have to always compromise yourself for everybody? So the reality is depending, like I said, on your personality will depend on your disease. That's not true, Daryl. You know, this runs in our family. No. You know what runs in your family? Sympathy. Sympathy. There is no genetic diseases, so get over it. Oh, isn't it great when you can say, this runs in my family and now you can't do anything about it? Isn't it great just to give up? Huh? How about this today? Do you ever notice that today people want to stick out so much and be different that they want a disease? Yeah, only 1 out of 10 million people ever had this, and they're all dead except for me. Wow, that's really cool. Nice to meet you. This is where we're at. Tell me we're not there today. Tell me we're not there. Oh my God, for the first time in my life, I have something that only 1 out of 10 million people get. You can program human beings to become human doings. And the reality is this. You need to get this. Every bit of pain, are you ready? I hope you're going to put this in your head. Every bit of pain, every bit of swelling, all your stiffness, and all your inflammation is from crystallization, from anxiety, or from scar tissue formation, from inflammation, from emotional inflammation, or nutritional inflammation because of your diet, and because you've been pooping in your pelvis all your life, every one of you. And that's the God's truth. And guess what? And calcification. And the reason why calcification is because the more toxic you are emotionally and physically that you eat, the more acid you create, the more acidic you are, the less oxygen you have, and the more you eat up your minerals. You have to pull the calcium, which is alkaline mineral, from your bones to buffer down your blood, because your blood cannot go acidic at all. If it changes just a little bit, you go into a coma. If it changes a little bit more than that, you die. So instead of that, you're pulling calcium from your bones. Do they tell you that? No. So every time you stress out, how many people know this? That if you are, you ready? If you have anxiety for more than 3 minutes, you're doing brain damage and you're pulling calcium from your bones. 3 minutes. Do you know why? That's how the human body is, because guess what? The only time that you should have that kind of stress and have that kind of adrenaline pumping in your body is because there's a tiger, okay? A real tiger. And guess what? Guess what? In the last 3 years, you guys have had paper tigers with no teeth chasing you, and it's almost killed you. And the reality is, you can tell a story, and every time you tell that horror story, that trauma story, you are living the same response and dumping tons of adrenaline, and it's like acid eating up your body. Most of you are emotionally out of control. And if you're in my course, I will be lovingly showing you your personality. Whether you want to believe this or not, I am a highly intuitive person. I will tell you your personality right down to the T. And we will actually open up everybody that comes to the Whole Life Coach course lovingly, with all the love in my heart. And we will show them and say, now that we've got your coconut open, we can now get rid of that belief, because it's not you, baby. It's not you. Everything that you feel guilty for is bullshit. It's bullshit. You've always tried your best, and you know it. You know it. Yeah, but I've done some really bad things. Yes, because you were in survival mode. And if we can get you in thriver mode, you'll never do that again. And you need to let it go just like this. So understand something. Every disease, give me a disease. Every disease is a scar tissue problem, calcification problem, crystallization. That's it. I don't care where it is in the body, whether it's in the toe or your nose. Not one disease, because disease means you're not at ease. And there are no diseases. There are only symptoms. And when you have a symptom, if you knew what that symptom was, guess what? You're all getting my manual. I hope you know this. That's my life's work. And you know what? You're getting the most powerful healing manual in the world. And if you don't believe me and you think that's arrogant of me, guess what? What do you want to be the best at in the world? You could be that if you wanted. You'd have to believe in it, and you'd have to stand in your power when everybody says that's arrogant. You can't say that. Well, guess what? You should be saying loud and proud, I am the best at this. And if you do that long enough and strong enough and you put massive energy into it, you will be. I don't need your thanks. I don't need your love. I need you to love yourself and thank yourself for showing up. In this course, nobody thanks me. Nobody's allowed to. Why? Because you've never thanked yourself enough. Nobody's allowed to thank me. Oh God, Daryl, if it wasn't for you, be quiet. It's about you. It's you. You got yourself here. You're the one that stayed here. You're the one. I had a major breakthrough. Everybody has a breakthrough by day 3 or 4 in my course. You don't have a breakthrough, I'll give you your money back. That's how. And do you know why you'll have a breakthrough? Because that's how amazing you are. All I have to do is just get one little crack of light in there. And then you'll see what you truly are. You are not a sinner. You're a winner. You're not a loser or a failure. I will fail 10,000 times at something before I nail it. You know what? Fall forward. That's all you got to do. Fall forward. That's all you got to do. Fall forward. And listen to me. Love your family, love your friends, but do not listen to them. Do not listen to them. Do not listen to them. And do not give your precious dreams away. You know what? If you need to, my number's 469-861-9454. And if you've got the craziest dream in the world, tell me and I'll tell you it's true and that you can do it. And not because I'm lying to you. And if you go and tell any of your family or most of your friends your precious dreams, they're going to say no because they're fearful. What, you're going to go to somebody fearful and tell them that you want to do something different? Are you like out of your skull? Take a look at the way they live their life. Why don't you go to somebody that looks at life as an adventure, okay? And then tell me, because that's the way it is. You have unlimited potential. Every one of you have unlimited potential. I'm telling you that. But let's see if you're going to go home and fill up 3 boxes of crap food that's killing you and get it out of the house. That's the first step. Okay? Just know this, the dark circles around your eyes, that's your bowels backing up so bad. Okay, you've got about 50 pounds of fecal waste inside of you, and you're backing up your bowels, and that's the black circles under your eyes? Yeah, that's your blood. And that's because your liver you've got inflammation and cirrhosis of your liver, and your bowels have been messed up since you were a little boy. Okay, that's your problem. You're either that or you are part of the raccoon family. And are you a nice person? Yeah, I love your spirit. And the reality is you got to quit. You have so many addictive habits, so many addictions, and you're going to have to stop them. Okay? And why don't you feel loved by people? That you might want to ask yourself that. And you might want to just love yourself. Okay? Yeah, that's right. Let me tell you something. You will be allowed to know what a person's thinking and who they are when you decide that you love them for whatever they are. And when you have unconditional love for yourself and everyone, then guess what? The source will allow you to see inside them because you have no judgment. There is not a bad person in the room. There are people in the room that have bad beliefs. That's it. And if you could get that, okay, if you could get that, you wouldn't be attacking yourself or other people. You don't attack somebody because they have a bad belief. You find out why they have that bad belief, especially if they're a loved one or they're a friend or somebody that you just want to care for. Okay. All right. So who should we work on? What problem do you have?
Where do we stop?
What?
Where do we stop?
Well, then I can't work on you. Because, you know what? Padded cell? No, I'm kidding. What?
I've got a sore knee, a crooked knee.
You got a what? What's wrong with your knee? What's wrong with it?
Well, I tried to push her off the bog off my lawn and did my knee.
You tried to push her off your lawn?
Yeah.
Yeah?
She got bogged like
I don't like her either. Right off the bat, I just... Okay, come on up and take your pants off. No, I'm kidding.